welcome into Ion Market, and today we are going to be taking a look at the ever-changing landscape of the market, focusing primarily on some of the reveals from the new Legendary Duelist pack, as well as a few updates on Ghosts from the past, and a few other scattered retro things in there. So if you guys are not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. Try to do market update videos at least a couple times a week. I understand that there are also other content creators who do. I'm trying to focus more on certain things that may not get looked at as much, or at least a more unique approach to some of what we're talking about. So just to bear in mind that, you know, what diversity we're bringing to the table. This is Ion Market, and we are going to jump right in today, guys, starting, as always, with the best-selling for Yu-Gi-Oh! Not too much this week in terms of drastic change. Dark Magician Ghost Rare is up here. Again, I still don't know whether or not best-selling is determined based on the amount that it brings in or the quantities that sell. Obviously, those are two very different factors, but I would think it's a combination of the two, because think about it. You know, certain commons and stuff, tons of those may sell, but they may not bring in any money. There's a lot of factors that might go into it. Ghost Rare Dark Magician still up here, despite the error printings and stuff. People are still chasing after that. Pot of Prosperity, which is a little bit cut off on my screen, so I apologize for that. I tried to get this the best possible fit that I could, but Pot of Prosperity is around $93. I'm going to move that just a little bit, make it a little easier to see. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus is about $70.99 lowest, so that's actually not bad. Remus, you know, is a bestseller. I actually picked up some myself. Definitely really happy to have that. I think you can sort of wait on these to go low. A lot of people are doing competitive pricing as far as what they're throwing up. I was able to grab some at 17. Right now you see $21.49 is the lowest, but there are competitive sales that are going up, so just keep in mind that you can window shop. You can kind of look around to see what's going on as far as that is concerned, but nothing crazy on the bestseller report. Although Ice Dragon's Prison is up quite a bit, very few copies at all. $65 for the cheapest near mint, which is just nuts. I mean, it just keeps going up, despite the fact that it's very likely to get a reprint. So, food for thought. Nothing crazy on best-selling. So let's start off. Let's take a look at a couple Ghosts from the past. I don't really have a ton to look at today from there. Sunvine Thrasher is one of the few Sunvine Sun Abalon that seems to be going up pretty quick. It's around $4 almost if you factor in shipping, and not a lot of people seem to have multiples, and there are very few listings with only 95 copies. So food for thought there. I listed mine at $3.50. I actually had a few up on our storefront today, Loveshack TCG. I will occasionally plug that, by the way. I try to automatically beat the lowest price on everything, regardless of whether or not it's a loss to me. So just keep an eye out on there if there's cards you're looking for. I've been putting things up, and I make every effort I can to get the lowest listing every time. I can't keep up with it 100% of the time, but if I notice that I have a listing and it's not the lowest, I will typically adjust it. So just some food for thought there. Mine sold out pretty quick at $3.50, and it looks like there's still some listed. So not sure why, if it's just one of the better Sun Abalon cards and maybe a little bit harder to get than some of the others, but that is what we're seeing right now as far as Sunvine sort of starting to move up a little. I talked about Hyratic Seal of Creation on the last one. I just want to mention it again. Very limited quantities in comparison to some of the other Hyratic cards, but still 70 results isn't bad. Looks like it's around $1.50 to $2. I would just recommend having a set of this. It's a card that's going to be super useful and will come up from time to time, and you're going to want to have it, so don't get left in the dust not having any copies of it. Market price is $2.62, so it's about $3. I would say it's worth it to grab. Starry Night Balefire, I noticed today. I'm working on that deck. I want to do a deck profile as we kind of try to get back into that a little bit, but I'm waiting on stuff to come in. Cheapest is $4. Actually really kind of weird, but it's the searcher for the deck. It also can function as a way to special summon. Really good card in general. If you're interested in Starry Night, I would say maybe scoop these up, because they do seem to be going a little higher than I thought. You got one person here at $3, but after that it's going to cost you about $3.50, unless you're combining shipping, comboing shipping elsewhere. So just wanted to bring attention to that. Evil Thorn, weirdly, and I know it's a decent card and this is the only foil variant that it has, but $1.50, only 61 listings, which is interesting. I also listed some of these at $1. They sold almost instantly. So for whatever that's worth, if I get more in stock, I will list some more. I know it's a decent card. It was very hard to get for a while because it was only in Raging Battle, but it was since reprinted as a common, I believe. in addition to the ultra rare. So there's, I believe, 4 copies of it now. Legendary Collection 5Ds, OTS, and so none are like ultra accessible, but just worth noting, the ultra rare, the only foil variant, it does seem to be disappearing relatively quickly from the market. And I think that's everything from Ghosts from the Past. So today, you guys might have seen my video. I talked about the new Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Definitely excited for that. Obviously, I've been taking a look at a lot of the Clearwing support, Crystal Wing support, and we do have more Speedroid support to be announced, so it remains to be seen. Cheapest near mint on Crystal Wing Ghost Rare First Ed is 180. I don't know that you're going to get into that very easily. There are no unlimiteds available for anything under 200, which is really interesting. But that being said, if you don't have them already, you know, and you want a Ghost Rare, maybe look at it, but there are some cheaper alternatives that you can grab, of course. The Ghost Rare, the Ultimate Rare is around $30 for the first ed. Unfortunately, I don't think Clearwing is that great. I mean, it's an iconic card. People remember when it was really good. It's definitely one of those things that will have collector's value. I'm kind of hoping we get a retrain of Clearwing or something similar for the new Duelist Pack, because having to rely on this card itself is not that great, just because it's so heavily reliant on things being on the field and negating effects on field. But again, high value collector's card. There will be hype around it. $29, $30 for the Ulti First Ed if you're interested in that. Of course, I would say that's more mid-rarity. Secret Rare, first edition looks like it's around, well, 13 bucks. One guy's got here. Solid price. There is one person who's probably looking to make a sale, $12.99 for first ed, and then the next one goes up to $16.69. So pretty large disconnect there, but guys trying to make a sale. So that's the Cross Souls original. And then there is also Clearing Synchro from the Legendary Dragon Dex. It's about 2 and change. You might have some of these in bulk. I found some at my locals cheap too. About $2.50 to $3. Again, if you want to have it just in case you end up wanting to play that or anticipate wanting to play that, this is a super cheap alternative that's not going to cost you much. But at least it's out there. People asked too about some of the alternatives for Clearwing, so I pulled that up twice. But Clearwing Fast Dragon, that's a manga promo. It looks like it's about 4 and change, $5 for that. It also got reprinted in Dual Devastator. I would say if you're going to get it, unless you're really strapped, like go for the manga version, because it's just going to hold more long-term value. So at least if it doesn't work out or it's something you want to collect, typically we've seen these age better over time. So that's just some food for thought. Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, this is, I mean, it's not a terrible card, but it does require non-tuner Dark Pendulums. This is not going to synergize with Speedroid. So while it is a target for that new Synchro, I don't think it's going to be one people really look to go after. That being said, though, it is 30 cents. So if you don't have it and you anticipate maybe some weird Dark Pendulum hybrid or whatever, it's there. You can grab it. Talking about Speedroids, just briefly, 17 copies of Super Terratop remain. That is low. $6.70 for the cheapest near mint first ed, and then they go up to almost 8 from there. This does have lower rarity reprints, common and such, but I would recommend getting some regardless of which versions you choose to pursue. Obviously, the ulti is crazy high, but the Star Pack commons are about $4 to $5 and relatively low in quantities too. So get your Terratop sooner than later. I don't expect it to come off the list in any capacity, although I could dream. But it's still going to be a card that's kind of mandatory in Speedroid, or pretty much if you're playing that win stuff, you're going to want to have this. So just food for thought. Domino Butterfly, just a quick peek, still very low in quantity with 5 results. $5 to 85 cents for the cheapest. That's an Ultra. It says Super, but it's not. It's an Ultra from Duelist Pack Dimensional Guardians. This could, I guess, get reprinted, but truth be told, I don't see it on the horizon. It would be a nice surprise. I guess we'll see. Really good card, though, and I would recommend, well, I mean, I would say I recommend getting them, but at this point, kind of missed the boat on that a little bit unless you need them. There's only a total of, even if you count listings as 5, but if you look at the total number, there's only 8 copies of this card available for purchase, so might miss the boat on that one, but keep an eye. People may put some up trying to make a sale. Red-Eye Dice. I think this card's insane. It's a level manipulator, so when it's normal or special summoned, you target a Speedroid and then declare a number from 1 to 6. It becomes that level. This is just so effective. You can use this to make, like, Martial Metal Marcher, for example, in Speedroid, which would then allow you to go 3 plus 7 to make the new guy. There are a lot of silly combos you can pull off with this. It's a super rare in high-speed riders, and I believe it was also, yeah, it was a rare in maximum gold. The super rare will be the better one to have, I think, and they are cheap enough where I would say maybe have them if you intend to play them. It's a 1-for-1 target. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this card. It's just, it's insanely effective in Speedroids. Rubber Band Shooter, I know House of Champs, John mentioned this on Market Watch earlier today. This is a really good card that's super overlooked. Just 2 wind monsters, gives you an extra normal summon of a wind, as well as giving you the ability to reveal Speedroids from your deck and then add it to your hand. That effect is neat, but just generally speaking, I mean, even if you're not looking at Speedroids, this is pretty solid. Locks you into synchros, but certain decks, especially Speedroids, are not going to be too worried about that, so I would say look at this. I wouldn't buy it out. I definitely think it's a bad buyout candidate, but you can get this for $1.50. Maybe pick up a couple if you, again, have any interest in playing that. And lastly, Speedroid Den Daiko Duke. This is about 50 cents, but the lowest listing here is about $2. No, $1 here. Actually, I can't. That one's, look, I'm looking at shipping on that as well. Banish from Grave, special summon a Speedroid Tuner from your hand to graveyard. It's an extender. It's really solid, and I think it has no restrictions on, like, synchro summoning and stuff, so you can summon this off Halki Fibrax, do some combos with it. This is a really solid card, and it only has its original printing in Shining Victories and then the Mega Pack reprint, so Mega Pack 1 doesn't have a ton of quantities. I don't see why people would chase after the Mega Pack, but that's your prerogative, I suppose. Yeah, so I'm throwing that one out there. So for my retro stuff this week, we've got Brain Control Secret Rare from Legendary Collection Yugi's World. Everything in Yugi's World, and I mean literally everything, seems to steadily go up over time. Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress Ultra Rare is like $8, so I don't know. Everything seems to be untouchable there in terms of, you know, not potentially spiking at some point. Near Mint for $6. First edition is $13. I do think it's not the worst price, but even for Unlimiteds and everything that kind of goes along with that, you could definitely do worse, so just something to bring to your attention. Another one from Yugi's World that's interesting is Needleworm. It's about $5 or $10 for the first ed. Historically, Needleworm, especially foil variants, obviously have aged well. The tournament pack ones are insane, but this Ultra is an alternative to the Ultra Rare TP3 if you're a collector who maybe doesn't have $699. Needleworm as a whole does not have a lot of prints at all. The last time it even got a print was 2012, so it's not super accessible, and you can get these relatively cheap if it's anything you're even remotely interested in having. $5 and some first eds for 10. Not a bad price, not a bad retro pickup. Mirage of Nightmare Yugi's World as well. $5 for the first for the Unlim, and about 10 to 12 for the first edition. It's a bit steep, but again, a banned card, if it ever were to come back, which I don't think it would, that would just be astronomically high. And then, of course, you know, if you're playing legacy formats, things like that, it might be something you want to grab. I do think you could do worse than $10, but I would strive for the first ed if possible, with the difference of only $3 if it's something that interests you. And lastly, for today, Breaker the Magical Warrior Ultra Rare from Yugi's World. Not as cheap as I thought, given the amount of printings of this card that do exist, but I know Breaker's a super popular card. First eds are only $5. Now, I think in the long term, this could be a really solid card to have. Obviously, Breaker does have other ultra rare prints. It's a Magician's Force, Legendary Collection Yugi's World. Those are the two, and then DR1. So all 3 ultra rare printings are from sets that are very old. Not, you know, Yugi's World's almost 10 years old at this point, so all from sets that are very hard to access, and Breaker as a whole has typically done well for any of its foil variants, including the Secret Rare from Speed Duel, which is already up. So for $5, it's really not a terrible deal, and $4 on the Unlimited, but I would just say shoot for the first eds at that price differential for sure. But that's just taking a look at the few of the retro cards and stuff, as we usually do. Just want to thank you guys so much for watching Ion Market. If there's other stuff you want to see covered, other things you think I should mention in future videos, definitely drop it down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here at Loveshack.